How you doing? My name is Pedro. I'm founder of NJ4 Kids, NJ4 Parental Equality. As always, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment, like, and share. You could also find us on Facebook. This was our old logo. We were known as New Jersey. The Fathers' Rights Movement of New Jersey. And this is our new logo. People question why we changed our name. And the reason why we changed our name is we evolved and we started to understand that this issue wasn't gender specific. The minute you eliminate one parent, it affects the child, more importantly. But by eliminating one parent, you eliminate a family. You have aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, grandparents, and so on. And, those are also victims. But as I said, more importantly, this is about the child. Child needs both parents involved as long as they're both fit. And that's where we started to focus on, because we were looking at it that it wasn't just the gender, it was other parts of the family that was affected, and ultimately the child. Then we started to understand more about the financial side, and the numbers do point that it's a father issue or a gender issue, but the reason is, nobody questions why. And the minute you start understanding about the Social Security Title 4D, you start understanding how lawyers and doctors and judges start making money off of this, and domestic violence programs, it just makes sense. It just puts the pieces into the puzzle. And it's just more, like I said, a family issue than a gender issue. The reason why it started as a father's rights was unmarried fathers, and still unmarried fathers technically have zero rights with their child. That's where the unethical adoptions come into play. And unethical adoption is when an unmarried mother can go to a adoption agency and give a rights to a child, and they'll put that child up for adoption. And now if the father finds out, he has to spend thousands of dollars to fight the adoption agency to get his child back. And now that adopting parent is fighting the biological father. That's what makes it unethical. And that's where originally the father's rights started to come into play. And just unfortunately, a lot of it stood that way because of the standard visitation, and which I get how people kind of misinterpret it, and because, like I said about the numbers, but the minute you educate yourself, you realize that this isn't about a gender. And when we go out in the street and we start educating the public, handing out pamphlets and so on, the first thing that a lot of people come to us is, oh, this is about fathers, this is about fathers. And once we're done, they're like, this isn't about fathers. So it's great getting that experience at times, well, all the time, obviously. But then you'll get your people who aren't as open-minded, and or just looking at their personal situation by possibly a father who wasn't fit. And unfortunately, people just categorize that as such. And which I get it, because at the same time, a lot of fathers, like when I first started, I was looking at it in the personal side. I was looking at it that it was personally happening to me, which I get, and everybody goes through it, and I could understand how we feel about that. But in order for us to overcome this is by separating our personal side, because it's such a cookie cutter that it's pretty much the same. And what we have to stick to is the facts. And when I go out in the street and I'm handing out pamphlets and talking to people and hitting them with facts, it enlightens them, and they understand that this isn't a gender specific issue, that this is about the child, that this is about money, and that the system is just using a child as a pawn to generate money. And you know that's where I think we should start taking the direction of this, instead of just talking about the father side. Um, because the public looks at it as a father issue, but like I said before, this isn't a father issue. So if you start talking to the public about facts, about research, about the corruption, about the Social Security Title 4D, the whole mentality of it being a father issue is going to diminish. And tackling this the way it should be tackled, as not a father issue, will eradicate this problem in a heartbeat. But it's hard to get people to move away from that, because they're looking at the ex controlling, and like the numbers obviously say fathers are the victims. You'll have the ex where she's controlling and manipulative, using false accusation either in child services or in domestic violence, to remove the father out of spite, out of financial obligation, for financial obligation rather. And that's where it has to change. And unfortunately, a lot of men in the beginning, they target their ex because of all that. They target women. They start bashing the ex and bashing women, bashing mothers, and it just turns into an angry dad group, a he-man woman hater club, instead of productive, supportive, changing, evolving, supportive group. Motivation for change. And that's the problem. I was a victim of that. That hence the name, the Father's Rights Movement of New Jersey. I was looking at it that it was me, it was personally happening to me. But like I said, once I saw the cookie cutter, once I saw everything else just falling into place, it was an eye-opening experience, and it helped me to direct the organization into a more direct and factual approach, family based and child based. And to me it's more factual, and all this gender stuff, because I see moms groups, I see fathers groups, and all it's doing is just dividing us. It's statism. Statism is divided into smaller controllable groups, and that's exactly what they're doing. We think that we're gonna win, but we're not. We're purposely separating ourselves by calling this a father issue than an actual family issue, than an actual corruption issue. And that is the biggest problem that we have. And we have to stop putting our personal side ahead of the factual, actual issue at hand. And, the minute we could do that is the minute that this whole system will crumble. As always, like, subscribe, comment and share our YouTube channel. And thanks for watching.